The gift of compassion, the gift of kindness, the gift of loving oneself. Compassion and kindness towards oneself, towards another, towards Mother Earth. When was the last time you truly looked about your surroundings in Mother Earth and gave gratitude for all that is? When was the last time you truly looked at the petals of a flower, that you gazed upon a nighttime sky to see the twinkle in the stars, the moon? When was the last time you just stopped where you were standing, if you will, and embraced the warmth of the sun? That you allowed the rays to caress your being in the oneness of appreciation? So many mindful about the weather, so many speaking about the weather, an opening conversation to anyone, stating the weather, the conditions. And have you pondered the magnificence that is offered each and every day? Sunrise, sunset. The sun rises, the sun sets. And in the creation, the rotation of time. When did you extend gratitude for the beauty? When was the last time that you extended and caressed Mother Earth? In the oneness, in the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. We started this dialogue asking ones to ponder Mother Earth. We started this dialogue asking ones to feel compassion and kindness towards oneself and Mother Earth and towards others. So often, what embraces one with grandness does get overlooked. It is every day. Ones are used to the sun rising, knowing the sun will set. It becomes an ordinary happening. But when someone goes out of their way to be kind, truly kind, sincerely kind, it almost comes across as something that is a rare happening. Ones are mindful when another is kind, when a stranger is kind, and when compassion is extended from one that wasn't expecting the compassion, the kindness one was not expecting. It feels almost foreign. It feels that most are walking around not being as kind, not being as compassionate. And ones within themselves may ponder, how kind have you been this day? How compassionate have you been this day? And we're not just speaking about kindness and compassion to another. We're speaking about how kind were you to you this day? How compassionate were you to you this day? And we want to say again, how kind and compassionate have you been to Mother Earth this day? So often ones are walking down the street and it is littered with trash. How mindful are ones with Mother Earth this day? And that is just a very small example. So many not mindful of the earth, so many not mindful of the trees, so many are not mindful of all who share this magnificent planet, all the animals. How kind and compassionate have you been towards animals? Now, we're not saying, we understand that ones have personal preferences, but when was the last time you viewed all Mother Earth as a magnificent creation and miracle? When was the last time you understood that you were part and piece of the whole? So if Mother Earth is magnificent in all that is, and you are standing upon the soil of Mother Earth, would you not then become part of the portrait? Would you not then be piece and part of the whole? So when ones are not so kind and compassionate towards oneself, it is difficult to be mindful, to be compassionate to others and to Mother Earth. When was the last time you truly looked about and just gazed into the miracle? And when was the last time you gazed at your own reflection to see the brilliant miracle? We don't mean to look at one's reflection and condemn the outer shell. We mean, when was the last time one truly looked into one's own eyes to see beyond the outer shell, to see within? So we're asking, when was the last time one saw beyond to look within? And we want to connect that with Grand Mother Earth. That is why we ask the question for ones to ponder. When was the last time you gazed into the vastness of the sky? When was the last time you looked beyond what ones could truly see, looked at the darkness between the twinkle of the stars? Look beyond to find within. Now, the wording is sort of opposite. Why would one extend forth to look within? But if one truly wants to look within, one must first look beyond everyday experience. Look beyond the immediate scenery, if you will. Look beyond into the vastness. When ones look at another, be it a lover, be it a stranger, when ones truly look beyond the outer shell, beyond what ones can truly see in a flash, if you will, and one will take time to look into the eyes of another, and yes, it certainly can be done with a stranger, not on a romantic level, but on a compassionate level, and perhaps a romantic level as well. But what we are speaking about is looking beyond what one see immediately. Ones will look up in the sky, they will see the sun, keep going. But if one stopped, gazed outward, and noticed the vastness that the sun was expanding into, ones would see beyond the immediate sight, if you will, the immediate feeling. And if one stood in stillness, one would really feel the deep penetration of the beauty of the rays. Being mindful of the rays. When was the last time you appreciated your magnificent creation of who you are, who you have become? And if you're not appreciating who you have become, it would be difficult to find the space to appreciate another and what they have become. Ponder. Just ponder. Our sharing is always a sharing to allow space to ones to feel more expanded, to feel that light-heartedness. If ones are feeling heavy this day, take a moment to cherish who you are. And ones will say, well, I'm not feeling too good. You can imagine what I did. Should have seen what I did yesterday. Yes. But all the condemning from yesterday to today, and then carried forth for how many days, is not going to be of service. It just will not be of service. And we're speaking about unkind words. We're not speaking about ones creating something they didn't want to create. Perhaps we're just using an example. One lost their temper. Really, truly, just lost their temper. And feeling so disheartened about it. It is natural, and for others don't feel disheartened about it. Some will lose their temper and feel it was warranted, feel the other truly deserved the harshness and the unkind words. But if one has done something and they feel remorseful for doing it, so lost their temper, said things they did not mean to say, hurt another deeply, then there is a space of remorse. There is a space of condemnation, if you will. But we are wanting ones to be mindful of how long the condemnation goes on for, and how expanded does it get. Does one make it bigger in their thoughts? I shouldn't have, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they truly start beating themselves up. I'm no good, I shouldn't be around people, and it goes on and on and on. So it is very, it is of great value to be extremely mindful when one feels remorse, especially if it is an unkind word or something that hurt another. We're just being gentle and mild. There are hundreds of thousands of ways to hurt another. Hurt oneself. To acknowledge it, and then from deep within, understanding of the acknowledgement can make amends, if you will. Can find forgiveness in one's heart. Perhaps go to the other and ask for forgiveness. But in that space of acknowledgement, of knowing, of being compassionate towards oneself, I really messed up. I lost my temper. I messed up greatly. I have a hard time looking in the mirror. It is in the beginning steps of those feelings that one must feel it in order to be so mindful not to have a repeat experience, if you will, knowing the contrast, knowing how one prefers to be, knowing that one would much prefer to be calm and kind. Now that we know there are some that walk around wanting the attention, wanting to be loud and boisterous. The bull in the china shop. Oh, ones go out of their way to knock things over, create such havoc, cause all kinds of havoc in the china shop, and then on their way out say, "Look at this mess. Somebody should clean it up. I'm not coming in here. Look at the mess of this store." Interesting, is it not? And the ones that were in the store when the bull arrived, knocking things over in a whirlwind, loud and aggressive, leaves all among the destruction. And then who gets to clean it up? The bull or the one left in the shop? The one that was delivered the harshness? Who cleans it up? When one is being delivered unkind words, one truly at the moment has a choice. The choice to believe in the words or not. Now, if one has pointed something out, and it does hold true to the other, even though the delivery was unkind, it makes one stand back and say, I did do that. I wasn't being careful. I wasn't being careful of your feelings. I wasn't being mindful. I am so sorry if I have hurt your feelings. Again, we're back to forgiveness. We're back to forgiveness. And if that is the case, chances are one wouldn't hold on to the unkind words that were conveyed. But it's when one is lashing out at another in true anger, spewing out all kinds of hatred towards another or others. There is deep pain associated with that to the one that is lashing out, far greater than the one receiving, although the one receiving can certainly be tossed around. If the one that is receiving chooses to believe in the words that were delivered, that is when the havoc starts. That is when the condemnation just doesn't end, because then it becomes a belief, and then one carries it and carries it and carries it and carries it. Decades, a lifetime. So many will say, yes, but when I was a child, this one said this and it was so painful. Yes. Someone should have come along and said, put it down where you found it. Leave it in the playground. So many walk around feeling less than because of a comment of another. And even well-meaning people who will give a comment or a compliment, wanting to give a compliment, only to make the person feel very insecure within themselves. How does that happen? How does that insecurity happen? Ones will be vibrant. They will be their vivacious, passionate self. And another will come along and say, every time I see you, you're so happy. I wish I was happy. I wish I could be like you. I wish I was happy. And you must have the world just in the palms of your hands to be so happy. I wish I could be like you. I wish I could be happy like you. I'm not. I suffer. I wish I could be like you. And the one that is vivacious and passionate and joyous may ponder how they make another feel. And then when they see the other, they tone it down. They tone it right down so the other doesn't feel less than. But then who becomes less than? All brilliant questions to ponder. All brilliant questions to ponder. Changing who you are to please another. Your authentic self. We're not speaking about changing a behavior that is upsetting to yourself and to others, changing a behavior. We're speaking about changing your authentic self, giving the example. If one is naturally vivacious, vibrant, creative, outgoing, witty, and they feel it makes others feel less than because of the comments they're receiving, and they stop being witty, they stop being vivacious, they stop being vibrant just to blend in. They tone it down to blend in, and truly they're only robbing themselves of themselves. So where are we going in this conversation? Said so often, where are we going? What we are wanting to share is higher consciousness. What we are wanting to share is love for oneself and for others, compassion for oneself and for others, kindness towards oneself and to others. How would you feel this day if you never heard a condemning word from oneself or another? How would you feel if ones had never passed judgment? How would you feel if ones didn't keep raising the bar every time you succeeded in something and someone came along and said, oh, you know, Joe down the street, oh, he just purchased, he just did. And feeling less than, wanting to go out and purchase something that Joe just purchased, using an example. When ones compare themselves to another, or having to match, to all live on the same street, all doing the same thing the neighbor does, all to fit in, all to blend in. And isn't it something how there are sections, if you will, sections of the city. And it's a section because all these ones live here, and all the people that have this live there. And it's all separation, is it not? It's all separation. So depending on what area of the city you live in, certainly would allow space if you are feeling better than or less than. And at the same time, we are suggesting that you feel neither. That you are knowing that each soul is as brilliant as the sun, all having different experiences, all walking a journey, but never one is better than another. One having different opportunities than another. Just the family that one is raised in would change all things, would it not? Questions upon questions to ponder. So we started this conversation. Have you been kind to Mother Earth? Have you been kind to yourself? Have you been kind to another? And we ask because it is higher consciousness. When ones know not to place their trash on the street, that becomes higher consciousness. When ones know to be kind to animals, that is higher consciousness. When ones know to be kind to a stranger, compassionate to a stranger, that is higher consciousness. Higher consciousness in a nutshell. And there are many, we want to say we could expand the wording into paragraphs, into chapters, into books. But bottom line, higher consciousness is knowing the love one holds within, knowing it's so grand they would never find space for condemnation and judgment towards themselves or to another. Higher consciousness is allowing the space of compassion to be felt in such a grand way. There would never be cruelty. There would never, ever be hurt feelings. Not intentionally. And even if one had such high compassion, they would only see the one delivering the unkind words with compassion. Hard to do when someone has hurt you so much. But if you had the compassion to understand that they delivered from their space of where they are standing, then the compassion from within would be extended forth and beyond. So we asked you to look beyond what you are seeing. Look beyond, to find within. And then when you find within, you can extend forth your brilliance of love, your brilliance of kindness, your brilliance of compassion. You can extend it beyond. And then you can inhale it back, if you will. Just ponder. Just think about it. Ones will say, well, I don't wish to be kind. When was the last time someone was kind to me? And compassion, I don't have any compassion. Do you know the family that I grew up with? No one had compassion. In fact, they were very excited if I failed. And if one's understood that one would only want another to fail because of their own insecurities, because of their own judgment upon oneself, their own condemnation, they would never condemn another. Everyone would want everyone to be a grand success. Everyone would wish upon everyone grand happiness and joy. That is higher consciousness. Higher consciousness is finding a space to honor, to find the truth from within, to expand one's inner light, to share compassion, share kindness. And truly we can use many, many words, but when it boils right down, love, compassion, kindness, it is always the answer. So if the bull has left the china shop, or perhaps the house, and one is left feeling it is all their fault, that things were damaged and so broken cannot be mended, ones could go within and find forgiveness and compassion and kindness to the one that caused such havoc, such hurt and pain. And ones will say, why would I do that after what they have done? And we would say, if you want to experience higher consciousness, it would be something that would call you forth to ease your own being. Because in the feeling of forgiveness towards the other, there is a space that goes beyond. There just is a space that expands into the brilliance of the vastness of the universe. Many topics, many dialogues we wish to share. Today's sharing was just to allow a space to ponder what higher consciousness feels like, and how we want to say how simple, but it's not simple. It's very complex to many. Compassion. What is your level of compassion towards yourself and to another? What is the level of kindness towards yourself and to another? And what is the level of compassion and kindness and love towards Mother Earth? For we are one, all connected. All life on Mother Earth connected. Think about it. Words to ponder. You are as magnificent as the rays of the sun. And understand that when you are standing giving appreciation to Mother Earth, you are speaking with Mother Earth from your heart. And in return, Mother Earth holds you in the heart of oneness. That is higher consciousness. There is great love for you.